Our story begins about 4.5 billion years ago. Imagine a vast cloud of gas and dust swirling and churning in the vastness of space. This cloud, called a nebula, was the birthplace of our solar system. Over millions of years, gravity pulled this dust and gas together. The center of the cloud became incredibly dense and hot, eventually igniting into a star, our very own sun. As the sun blazed to life, the remaining dust and gas continued to swirl around it. Over time, these particles collided and stuck together, gradually forming larger and larger clumps. This process, called accretion, led to the formation of planets, including our own Earth. It was a time of intense heat and constant bombardment from asteroids and comets. The early Earth was a very different place than the planet we know today. It was a world in its infancy, a planet still forming and evolving. Imagine a world covered in volcanoes, spewing lava and ash into the sky. These eruptions were not just occasional events, they were a constant, reshaping the landscape with every explosion. The atmosphere was thick with noxious gases, a toxic mix that would be unbreathable for us today. The surface was constantly bombarded by asteroids and comets, each impact adding to the chaos and heat. Temperatures were scorching hot, reaching levels that would instantly incinerate any form of life. There was no liquid water to be found anywhere, just barren, dry land under an intense, relentless heat. It was a hostile and unforgiving environment, a place where survival seemed impossible. But amidst this chaos, something incredible was happening, something that would change the course of Earth's history forever. The Earth was slowly cooling down. As the temperature dropped, the molten rock on the surface began to solidify, forming the first continents. These land masses were the foundation of the world we know today. Water vapor in the atmosphere condensed and fell as torrential rain, a deluge that lasted for millions of years. This rain filled the low-lying areas, creating the first oceans, vast bodies of water that would become the cradle of life. This was a pivotal moment in Earth's history, for it paved the way for the emergence of life. The formation of oceans provided the perfect environment for the first simple organisms to develop, setting the stage for the incredible diversity of life we see today. The early Earth was a world of fire and molten rock. Volcanoes erupted across the planet, spewing lava and ash into the atmosphere. The surface was constantly reshaped by volcanic activity, with new landforms being created and destroyed in a matter of days. It was a time of intense geological upheaval. As the Earth cooled over millions of years, the molten rock on the surface began to solidify, forming the first continents. These early continents were much smaller than the land masses we see today, and they were constantly shifting and colliding as the Earth's crust moved and groaned. The oceans were still forming, and the atmosphere was very different from the one we breathe today. The emergence of life on Earth is one of the most profound mysteries of science. It marks the beginning of a journey that has led to the incredible diversity of life we see today. We don't know exactly how it happened, but we do know that it occurred sometime around 3.5 billion years ago in the newly formed oceans. These oceans were a cauldron of chemical reactions, setting the stage for the first spark of life. The first life forms were simple, single-celled organisms, but they possessed the remarkable ability to replicate themselves and pass on their genetic information. This ability to reproduce and evolve was crucial for the survival and diversification of life. These early life forms thrived in the warm, nutrient-rich waters of the primordial oceans. The environment provided the perfect conditions for these organisms to grow and multiply, laying the foundation for more complex life forms. They were anaerobic, meaning they didn't need oxygen to survive. Instead, they relied on other chemical processes to obtain energy, which were abundant in the early Earth's environment. In fact, oxygen was toxic to these early organisms. The atmosphere of early Earth was very different from what we know today, and these life forms had to avoid oxygen-rich areas to survive. But over time, some of these organisms evolved the ability to photosynthesize, using sunlight to convert carbon dioxide and water into energy. This was a revolutionary development, as it allowed life to harness the power of the sun. This process released oxygen as a byproduct, gradually changing the composition of the atmosphere. The increase in oxygen levels eventually led to the development of more complex life forms, paving the way for the rich biodiversity we see on Earth today. Over billions of years, life on Earth evolved and diversified at an astonishing rate. From the simplest of beginnings, life has undergone a remarkable transformation, adapting to countless environments and challenges. From those humble single-celled beginnings arose a dazzling array of plants, animals, and fungi, all interconnected in the intricate web of life. These organisms, though vastly different in form and function, share a common ancestry and are part of the same evolutionary tapestry. This explosion of life is known as the Cambrian explosion, a period of rapid evolution that occurred around 540 million years ago. It was a time when the basic body plans of most major animal groups were established, setting the stage for future diversity. During the Cambrian explosion, the oceans came alive with strange and wonderful creatures. These early marine organisms displayed a variety of forms and behaviors, some of which are still seen in modern descendants. Trilobites, with their segmented bodies and compound eyes, scuttled across the sea floor. These ancient arthropods were among the first to develop complex visual systems, giving them an edge in the competitive Cambrian seas. Jellyfish drifted through the water, their tentacles trailing behind them. These simple yet effective predators have remained largely unchanged for millions of years, a testament to their successful design. And the first fish, with their streamlined bodies and powerful tails, began to explore the vastness of the oceans. These pioneers of the vertebrate lineage would eventually give rise to a multitude of species, including the ancestors of all land-dwelling animals. Life had gained a foothold on Earth, and its journey of evolution was well underway. From the depths of the oceans to the highest mountains, life continued to adapt, evolve, and thrive, leading to the incredible diversity we see today. About 230 million years ago, a new era dawned on Earth, the Mesozoic era, better known as the Age of Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were reptiles that evolved from earlier reptilian ancestors. They were perfectly adapted to the warm, lush environments of the Mesozoic, and they quickly rose to dominate the planet. From the mighty Tyrannosaurus rex with its bone-crushing jaws and powerful legs, to the gentle giants like Brachiosaurus with their long necks and towering heights, dinosaurs came in all shapes and sizes. They roamed the Earth for over 180 million years, during which time they evolved into a staggering array of forms, from fearsome predators to gentle herbivores. As successful as the dinosaurs were, their reign was not to last forever. About 66 million years ago, a cataclysmic event occurred that would forever alter the course of life on Earth. A massive asteroid, estimated to be about 6 miles wide, slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula in what is now Mexico. The impact triggered a chain reaction of catastrophic events, including massive earthquakes, tsunamis, and wildfires. Dust and debris were ejected into the atmosphere, blocking out the sun and plunging the Earth into a long, dark winter. The dinosaurs, unable to adapt to this sudden and dramatic change in climate, were wiped out along with countless other species. This mass extinction event marked the end of the Mesozoic era and paved the way for the rise of mammals. Mammals, small furry creatures that had lived in the shadows of the dinosaurs, were better suited to survive the harsh conditions after the asteroid impact. They were warm-blooded, which allowed them to maintain a stable body temperature even in cold climates. And they had evolved a remarkable new adaptation, the ability to give birth to live young and nourish them with milk. With the dinosaurs out of the picture, mammals were free to diversify and evolve into a dazzling array of forms. They spread across the continents, adapting to a wide range of habitats. Some, like the whales and dolphins, returned to the oceans. Others, like the bats, took to the skies. And among this incredible diversity of mammalian life, a new lineage emerged, the primates. From the perspective of Earth's long history, humans are relative newcomers. Our species, Homo sapiens, emerged in Africa only about 300,000 years ago, but in that short time, we have had an outsized impact on the planet. We have developed language, art, and technology. We have built cities, cultivated crops, and domesticated animals. We have explored every corner of the globe and even ventured beyond our home planet. But our success has come at a cost. We have altered the Earth's climate, polluted its air and water, and driven countless species to extinction. We are now facing a global environmental crisis of our own making. The future of Earth and of all life on it now depends on the choices we make today. We must find ways to live sustainably in balance with nature. We must reduce our impact on the environment, conserve natural resources, and protect biodiversity. The challenges are great, but so too is our capacity for innovation, compassion, and cooperation. We have the knowledge and the technology to chart a more sustainable course. The question is, do we have the will? The story of Earth is still being written, and we, as its newest chapter, have a profound responsibility to ensure that it is a story of hope, resilience, and a thriving future for all. As we contemplate the future of Earth, it is humbling to remember our place in the cosmos. Our planet is but a tiny speck of dust, orbiting an ordinary star in a vast and ancient universe. Yet, as far as we know, it is the only place in the cosmos where life exists. This realization underscores the preciousness of our home planet and the urgent need to protect it. It also fills us with a sense of awe and wonder at the grandeur of the universe and the mysteries it holds. The story of Earth is a story of cosmic significance, a testament to the power of life to emerge and thrive against all odds. Let us ensure that it continues for billions of years to come.